Imagine planning your dream vacation, only to find out that your passport won't get you there. What if you were banned from visiting certain countries? In 2025, tensions, political instability, and travel restrictions have left Americans blocked from entering multiple destinations around the world. Some of these bans are due to diplomatic disputes, others because of safety concerns, and a few are simply because these countries don't want American visitors anymore. Which countries have shut their doors to Americans? Stay with us till the end because some of these will shock you. Have you ever visited one of these places before? Drop your experience in the comments below. 1. North Korea, the world's most isolated nation for decades. North Korea has been one of the most restricted destinations on the planet. But in 2025, travel to this secretive state is completely off limits for American citizens. In 2017, the US banned Americans from traveling to North Korea after the tragic case of Otto Warmbier, a US student who was detained and later died after being returned home in a coma. Since then, relations between Washington and Pyongyang have only worsened. With ongoing nuclear threats, strict sanctions, and heightened fears of espionage, North Korea has completely sealed its borders to Americans. Even humanitarian workers and diplomats struggle to gain access. The US State Department warns that any American attempting to enter North Korea risks detention, torture, and potentially life-threatening consequences. Would you ever have considered visiting North Korea? Let us know in the comments. 2. Russia, the Cold War 2.0. The tension between Russia and the United States has reached an all-time high, leading to an official travel ban on Americans. As of 2025, Russia no longer grants visas to US citizens. This follows years of escalating political disputes, cyber warfare allegations, military conflicts, and economic sanctions. The Russian government has labeled Americans as high-risk travelers, accusing them of espionage and interfering in Russian affairs. Moscow, St. Petersburg, and the breathtaking Siberian landscapes were once popular with adventurous American tourists. Now, visiting these places is impossible unless you hold a different passport. If you have family in Russia or used to visit, this ban has made it incredibly difficult to connect with loved ones. Will this restriction ever be lifted? Only time will tell. 3. Iran, tensions at an all-time high with its breathtaking Persian architecture, ancient history, and vibrant culture. Iran was once a destination for adventurous travelers. However, in 2025, Americans are completely banned from visiting Iran due to increased tensions over nuclear programs, espionage concerns, and economic sanctions. Since the 1979 U.S. Embassy hostage crisis, relations between Iran and the U.S. have remained hostile. Previous travel restrictions required Americans to apply for visas with special government approval, but now, even that is no longer an option. Iranian officials have warned that any American caught in Iran may face arrest under suspicion of spying. This makes it one of the most dangerous destinations for US citizens. Would you have visited Iran before the ban? Let us know in the comments. 4. Afghanistan, a nation in turmoil after the Taliban regained control in 2021, Afghanistan has become one of the most unstable countries in the world. By 2025, the Taliban government has completely banned US citizens from entering, citing national security concerns and past US involvement in Afghan affairs. The country remains a high-risk zone for terrorism, kidnappings, and armed conflict. Despite its stunning landscapes and ancient heritage, Afghanistan is simply too dangerous for Americans to visit. The US government strongly advises against any travel to Afghanistan due to the risk of being detained or used as a political bargaining chip. Would you ever travel to Afghanistan under different circumstances? Tell us in the comments below. 5. Syria, a war-torn nation once home to some of the world's most breathtaking ancient ruins, Syria is now one of the most dangerous places on the planet. With ongoing civil war, terrorist groups operating within the country, and extreme government crackdowns, Syria has officially banned all American visitors. The US has also issued its highest level of travel advisory, warning that kidnappings, airstrikes, and chemical attacks remain a serious threat. Many areas in Aleppo, Damascus, and Homs have been reduced to rubble, and the humanitarian crisis is at catastrophic levels. Unfortunately, Syria will likely remain off-limits for Americans for the foreseeable future. 6. Yemen, a humanitarian disaster. Yemen was once known for its breathtaking landscapes, historic mud brick cities, and stunning coastline. But today, it's recognized as one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. Ongoing civil war, famine, and military conflicts have made it impossible for Americans to visit safely. The Yemeni government has completely restricted U.S. citizens from entering, citing foreign interference concerns. Even humanitarian workers struggle to gain access due to the extreme instability. Would you ever have considered visiting Yemen before the war? Let us know in the comments. 7. Cuba. The back and forth ban. Cuba has long had a complicated relationship with the United States. After a brief period of relaxed travel restrictions under President Obama, the U.S. imposed new sanctions, making it increasingly difficult for Americans to visit. By 2025, Cuba has completely banned American tourists, citing U.S. interference in its domestic affairs. This ban has significantly impacted Cuba's tourism industry, which relied heavily on American travelers. If you've ever dreamed of seeing Havana's vintage cars, lively music, and colonial architecture, you'll have to wait until relations improve. 8. Myanmar. A military regime locks down formerly known as Burma. Myanmar was once an emerging tourist hotspot with golden pagodas, lush landscapes, and rich Buddhist culture. However, after the military coup in 2021, the country has been plunged into political chaos and human rights violations. In 2025, the ruling government has completely banned American visitors, accusing the U.S. of supporting opposition groups. Myanmar is now one of the most volatile countries in Southeast Asia, and even nearby countries discourage travel to the region. 9. Libya. A country in chaos. Libya was once home to some of the most stunning desert landscapes and ancient Roman ruins in the world. The ruins of Leptis Magna, Sabrata, and Cyrene attracted history buffs from around the globe. However, after the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, the country has descended into complete chaos, torn apart by warring factions and political instability. As of 2025, Libya has completely banned American visitors, citing fears of espionage, foreign interference, and terrorism risks. The U.S. State Department has also issued a Level 4 Do Not Travel advisory, warning that kidnappings, violent crime, and extremist attacks are widespread. Currently, over 70% of Libya's territory is controlled by armed groups, making it one of the most dangerous places for any foreign visitor, especially Americans. Even humanitarian organizations struggle to operate due to the lack of security and infrastructure. For travelers who once dreamed of exploring Libya's ancient ruins and coastal beauty, this ban means those sites will remain off limits for the foreseeable future. Would you have considered visiting Libya before the war? Let us know in the comments below. 10. Belarus. A nation closely tied to Russia. Belarus, often called Europe's last dictatorship, has become one of the most politically isolated countries in the world. After the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Belarus supported Moscow, leading to severe economic sanctions and travel bans from the West. In 2025, the Belarusian government officially barred American travelers, citing national security concerns and accusations of espionage. For years, Minsk, Belarus' capital, was a hidden gem for travelers, boasting Soviet-era architecture, medieval castles, and rich Eastern European culture. However, the country has now tightened its borders, aligning itself closely with Russia's anti-West policies. For American travelers who once explored Eastern Europe, Belarus is now completely off-limits. Even transit through the country is considered high risk, as foreigners have reportedly faced detainment and interrogation. With political tensions at an all-time high, it remains uncertain whether Belarus will reopen its borders to American tourists anytime soon. Would you have visited Belarus before the ban? Share your thoughts below. Where can Americans travel in 2025? The world is constantly changing, and with political conflicts, diplomatic tensions, and security concerns, these 10 countries have officially banned American travelers in 2025. Some of these bans are expected, while others might surprise you. But as history has shown, borders can reopen, relations can improve, and travel bans can be lifted. Which of these banned destinations shocked you the most? Have you ever visited any of these places before? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video informative, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe for more global travel updates and hidden truths about the world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Safe travels.